piece eagle. This is an early John Bellamy eagle that I'm taking to a different level. And as you'll be observing, she's going to be 32 inches in length. And as the Boston Bellamy, this area here will be much higher and roll down into her wing area and come out this side. And again, her head area, which is right here, will come up and be a lot more proud and pointed. The same thing, overall same philosophy as the Boston Bellamy, but a lot more detail to her. And as you'll be seeing, this is how this will come up. And you'll see the whole wing area. I wanted to show it to you that way, and then again back down this way, how she looks. But overall, she's going to be a magnificent carving when she's finished. But this is just the first stage of me just laying her out. And I hope you're going to enjoy this journey along with the other Bellamy. More to come. Bye. John Bellamy, or I should say, the Boston Bellamy, or I should say, the uniquely different Bellamy is coming together. This one here is going to be 33 inches again, 32 inches, and you can see the multi-parts that are going to be in. This is the main body. This is the head that will have a pronounced slant to it. This is the additional part of the body, which will go underneath it here shortly. And this is going to be the enhancement to the wing area. Each layer will be laminated on separately at one at a time, and then everything will flow down. And as in the Boston Bellamy, it's going to have a flare to it and an uplift to it, and then ultimately this one's actually going to have two banners. The banner's going to come out of this side of her beak area and out of this side of her beak area with the motto that my patron wants to have on it. But basically, she is going to be a real beauty. I use a little bit thicker wood on this one than normal. Normally it's 3/4, but this is almost 1.25 inches thickness, so it's going to have a lot more depth and a lot more detail than I normally would have in a Bellamy. That's it for now, more to come. Securely locked into place. As you will be observing, I'm proceeding with the wing and the feather area on her. This part here is going to flow down and into the piece, and this part here is going to flow down, and then the bottom part here is going to flow up. So I'm going to have a very dramatic curve to her. So it's going to flow down, up, and then these other feathers will have a dramatic flare to her. Overall, you can see the body itself has come along nicely. The rounding of both areas. Underneath, this area here is starting to come more and more and more until I get a little bit more into here, so it has more of a flow to it. And then again, the whole wing area is going to appear like it's floating off her body, flying in the air. And then the banner is going to come down and fly up into the air. Overall, I think she's coming along nicely. More to come as we proceed on our project. And that's a close-up. That's it for now. Bye. I wanted to show you her growth and progress while I'm still working on the wing area. You'll notice this area here, that's what they call Gorilla Glue. It's a gap-filling, waterproof epoxy that I use on all my eagles. It's the best thing going. A lot of other people or other artists will use a waterproof glue, but this stuff here is far superior to anything that you'll find even on the market. I don't even rate it up against epoxies. That's how good it is. But as you'll see, this is the wing area. This will be flowing down. Now down here, this will come down. Each one's going to flip up the same way that I had it done on the Boston Bellamy. The same procedure, the same process, and you'll see now her head. And that's how that's going to appear. This is going to be rounded off more into the body, and everything else will be flowing down. And you'll see here I'm starting to work on this area down here. So overall, she's progressing nicely. More to come. I hope you're enjoying the journey. This is a lot of fun doing this piece. A progress report on what I've done and what I'm going to be doing. As you will be observing, you'll notice the great and dramatic sweep that I've developed in through this area here with her wing. And it's flowing down into the feather areas. It's going to have a slant down, down, down. And of course, her head or beak area is really coming along and have a nice dramatic flow to this. So take more down in through here. And then of course, when we flip this up this way, you'll see the markings of all all the feathers are going to flip up, and on the back side, I'm drawing in the back side so I can have a very dramatic flare to them, more than you would normally ever see on an original Bellamy. This piece will have the same appearance as my Boston Bellamy, which actually looks like, or appears to, float off the wall or on the mantle. That is now being her new home. It's a lot to say in a couple of minutes. But as you're getting the idea, she's coming along nicely, and more to come. Bye. She's getting the wind to her back. As you will be observing, everything's going to have a flow to it. It's going to be, as she's flying away, the banner is going to have a curve to her to give her the appearance that it's floating in the air. And you'll be observing, here we go, at the bottom, the wings coming up, all the feathers coming up. A lot of movement, a lot of action in this piece. A lot more than I anticipated, but then again, you see the back side, how that's going to be. Those are all going to have to be detailed in. But when you do a prototype, and this is the first one I've done it for this one, it's always, it's an adventure. It's really a journey, and it's a lot of fun because I keep on changing and it keeps on developing. I'm kind of like Leonardo da Vinci. I'm never quite satisfied with what I have. I'm always trying to find something different. But in my case, I finished my pieces and he never finished a majority of his. He never could have the patience nor the time to finish it. But for now, that's it. More to come. As we will be observing, our eagle is getting more and more detail. You'll be noticing along this ridge here that these are higher. They're going to flow down more on both sides into her overall wing area. I'm adding the sharpness and crispness with it with a little bit of polymer filler, which is ideal for my usage with my pieces. That I'm able to really get the detail into them that sometimes you can't get with just carving. And we turn it up and you can see the flow all along the edge here. On the back side, it's really coming along a lot better than I anticipated. It's going to have a lot more form and function to it. And then of course we have that whole area there, and then our head area. Now I've added a little more filler to this area here. This is our back side, and this is our front side. And that's how she's going to appear when she's done. Zoom away. I hope you're enjoying the journey. Fun. The depth of our eagle really comes to life now, as you will be observing. The flow that I'm going to be having coming in from here down and around, and I'm going to swirl these up and around and come off the back side, so each feather is going to come over the wing area and all the way down into here, each side. And on the other side, the same pattern, the same flow. Undercut's going to have a full dimensionality to it. And you'll be observing how she appears to be flying off the wall, so, and her appearance is quite dramatic. This side and this side. And a little more from underneath and underneath shot, but overall, she's coming to life. And she's enjoying her journey. Hope you're enjoying it also. Right. I wanted to share more progress that we're making on our Bellamy. And you're going to be noticing that the wing area, the top of the wing area is starting to get a flow to it, with the feathers being laid in versus just a static straight line. And it's going to come down and flow out, come down and flow out. I'm taking the head up here now, you'll be able to see more of what I'll be presenting. As you'll be seeing here now, each feather's going to come down, be undercut, undercut, undercut. So each one's going to have a defined area that will sweep down and come out, sweep down and come out. The same thing on the opposite side. Each area is starting to get some more detail into it, It's going to flow up, down, over, and around. As you're going to be viewing now, you'll see how the back side is. appears to be. But overall, I think she's coming to life more and more each time I work on her a little more. She comes to life just a little bit more. And that's just backup view. Hope you're enjoying our journey. Bye. We've reached the point of our carving where all the fine little feathers have been carved in. And you'll be noticing each feather has more lines in it. There must be, I'll say, a couple thousand little lines here. So I wanted to give you an idea of presentation on this side and of her head. And now I'm going to flip this over. You'll see the back side is all carved and ready to go. And then, of course, the back side. This is the top, all carved. And the feathers floating over the back side. And then if you flip over this side, you'll see the bottom side. Overall, this has been a really fun commission to be working on. She's going to be a real beauty when she's done. The next time you see her, of course, she'll be having the first coat of primer on her, which will have to sit for a couple of days at least to harden up. Other than that, that's it for now. Bye. All primed and sealed and drying out, so to speak. What I make is a combination of linseed oil, turpentine, not paint thinner, but turpentine, and I take one of my paints, my Hollandac paints, and then I mix them all together and make a solution so it really penetrates and seals the wood. It's something that I do with all my pieces, even though I assume that this piece is going to be inside. Years to come, she might be outside, and if she's outside, she's going to last a lot longer being properly sealed against any kind of moisture and any kind of weather. And you'll notice how this whole area here, how this is folded down and flips out. A little bit different technique, a little bit something different I'm trying to do. I'm going to get more of a flair to it as I progress in my, I guess you could say, order of how I'm carving it anymore. But I think overall, she's a beauty. You can see how nicely the head came out and the overall body, the flow to it. I think overall, she's really nice. More to come. Sanding and cleaning up of all the different little feathers has been completed. As you'll be observing, a little bit close up, you can see how everything's been detailed, as I would like to call it. And that will increase the depth of the cuts in each feather, each line. You see that there, coming up to the top. Even the back side flows very nicely there. And then one more stage here, you can see the bottom of the wings on this side. Overall, she's going to have a great appearance. And that three-dimensional look that I was anticipating to have, and I have achieved. Overall, the journey is about to go into the next stage, which is the final painting area. Hope you're enjoying our journey so far. It's been a lot of fun. Bye. And we have her almost done with the painting aspect of our eagle. You'll notice that the undercoating of the red is all done. The back is done. Now laid in the red, the white, the red, the white, the red, and the blue. And this all trim is going to be gold leaf, this through here, and in between each line is going to be gold leaf. And of course, the whole eagle will be gold leaf. Now, the banner will come flowing out of her mouth this way and come flaring out, and then come flaring on top of her mouth and come flaring out this way. That's the next stage. We're working on that one next, but I also wanted to show you how each feather is flaring up. It has a nice undercutting to everything. It's going to flow away from her final perch as her sister, the Boston Bellamy. And these are here. And you can really see how she looks. Overall, she came out quite nice. Hope you've enjoyed the journey so far. More to come. Our journey continues now with the banners. There's going to be a double banner, one coming off the top of her beak or head area, flowing down along the body, coming out into the body area, and then dramatically flaring out. We're going to have 3 pins on her, 2 on the wings, and then 1 up in the head area. And 1 on the other side, underneath, coming down, flaring down around the body. Again, a pin here, another pin here, and another pin here. Then again, coming up and flaring out. It's going to have a very dramatic effect to it, the same way as our previous eagles have done when I'm using this technique. It makes the banner appear to be 3-dimensionally floating above the piece. I'm going to zoom in here now. You can really see how she's going to flare up and out and slowly go over here so we don't get seasick. And we come down across the head area, and then we're going to flare out again. Overall, she's coming along very nicely. Hope you're enjoying the journey so far. Bye. Live and let live. Here we go. Star, live, and star, star, let live. So basically, this has been all carved in. I had to wait and get the mask, the proper mask, and it took a long time for me to get this actually perfect and get it lined up. I had to do rubbings back and forth with the graphics people so I had to make sure that it was absolutely laying in correctly. So it's going to have the flow to it coming down, and that will then connect on this side of her beak and come down and flow out. And you'll be able to see the holes here that she'll be installed with. And the same thing on this side, let live, star, the stripes here, and then again that will be attached here, 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 and 1 down here, 4 spots on each side. And then we have the stars that I carved in here. This is the base coat of blue, and then a couple coats of blue, and then I'll be finishing it off with red, as I traditionally do with all my lettering and all my gold leafing. Once that is done, then I'll proceed to do a rubbing on the back side and gold leaf her. And then the process will be me making a little nest to send her back up to you. And we'll have to get an exact address of where you want her sent to. Other than that, she's coming along nicely. Talk to you soon, or write me more often. Bye. And the beauty of gold leafing. I'm just sharing with you, I'm working on the back area of live and let live. And you'll see how the gold leaf just flows right into the carving. How it really comes to life. It's a marvelous process. No matter how many times I do this, it's just magic how fine the gold leaf is and how it just fills in every little area, every little detail. And if it happens to miss a spot, then I just go back and do a touch-up. But most of the time, she comes out perfect, as you'll see now how it's going to flow into the top of her head area here. I do it this way, upside down, so the sizing flows into the carving versus flowing out of the carving. And it gives me a much better presentation. And I'll come down here, and I'll show you how live and let live is starting off. Working on this part also, the banners. Banners are all carved, and you can see how the lettering just pops and really comes to life. I'll give you a little more detail there. Thank you, Steve Jobs. And you'll see how nicely that's coming along. Okay, for now, you'll see more when it's getting more closer to completion. Bye. And the end is near. As you will be observing, live and let live is done. I'm going to give you a little bit of a zoom in. And that's beautiful. What can I say? Even I surprise myself sometimes. Now I got a little bit of a touch-up, a couple touch-ups here. Other than that, I'll be putting her together today and getting her to fly home to Boston. It's been an adventure, but I think it's been well worth the time and effort. Zoom in again one more time. I'm gonna there. Now you're going to get an idea how each letter just pops. She'll be coming home shortly. Bye. And here she is. proudly flying her banners. Live and let live. And I'm going to go in a little closer here. You can see all the detail, how beautiful that is. Now, as always, she's going to be floating on her body. You can see how it contours right to her head and her body. It actually is floating, and we go over here to the other side. And you can see how nicely that just floats. Nice angle to it, and it flares up and out. Overall, she came out. What can I say? There's another case of a great design produces a great carving. A truly unique carving that's going to fit into the other two sisters that she has already flying up in Boston. What a joy to do. A lot of fun, to tell you the truth. A lot of moments figuring out how everything's going to go together, but in the end, the journey is the reward. That's it for now. Bye.